Batman needed a companion, okay? I, Batman needs a Joker, right? I mean, you can't have a Spider-Man without a Goblin, and Batman needs a Joker, right? Tell me I'm right, please. Welcome back to the CoolFigurez channel. I'm your host, Jesse the Bat Madrigal, aka the Buff Collector. The information on the channel is intended for adult collectors and not children. And welcome to episode 51 of Coffee and Toys, guys. Yes, we have finally surpassed 50 episodes. Not only that, but we also hit a huge milestone for the channel. Of course, we will talk about this week's Coffee and Toys Live, future guests for Coffee and Toys Live, this week's toy haul, this week's toy news, and so much more. But first, if you're new, then welcome. This channel is all about cool action figures, analyzing them, hunting them, taking pics of them, and of course, playing with them. If that's your sort of thing, why don't you go ahead and hit that subscribe button? And while you're at it, why don't you go ahead and hit that bell notification icon so you stay notified when I do upload new content. If you do enjoy this video or any other videos that I put out, please remember to give them a thumbs up. It really helps the channel grow. With all that being said, guys, once again, welcome to episode 51 of Coffee and Toys. And yeah, we have a decent toy haul this week, as well as an unboxing, guys. Yes, we have an unboxing for this week's episode, so super excited about that as well. But before we get into anything, guys, I do want to address the huge milestone that the CoolFigurez channel has just surpassed. We just hit 50 episodes of Coffee and Toys, the podcast, and within that same week, we hit 1,000 subscribers. So thank you so much to each and every single one of you that have hit that subscribe button. It really means the world to me. I couldn't be here doing this without you guys, without your support, without your constant amazing positivity, and without your amazing comments. So thank you so much to each and every single one of you that tune into the reviews, that tune into the behind the scenes photos, that tune into the podcast, guys. Thank you so much. Like I always say, I'm sure you guys are probably tired of hearing me say by now, but if it wasn't for you guys, I'd just be a grown man talking about toys in my room by myself. So thank you to each and every single one of you that have hit that subscribe button. It really means a lot. And if you haven't already, it's okay. Be a part of the next 1,000. 2,000 is just as big of a milestone for me as 1,000. Hell, the next 100 or so is actually a big milestone for me, because just hitting 1,000 is crazy, let alone, you know, starting to hit even more followers. It just blows my mind. So thank you so much to each and every single one of you that have hit that subscribe button. And like I said, if you haven't already, be a part of 2,000. So with that being said, guys, man, can you believe it's already September? We are vastly approaching the holidays, which is very scary, very scary. And it seems like toy companies are now starting to get their products into retailers and stuff, you know. It seems like we had a bit of a dry spell. It seemed like where toy companies weren't really releasing anything new, you know. We had a few things here and there, but nothing really too exciting. However, NECA, McFarlane, you know, they recently dropped some good stuff. Oh, even Star Wars Black Series, I'll say, you know, I mean, I didn't buy anything. I'm not interested, but they did technically drop a new wave, and I did actually just see it in stores last night. And yeah, I looked at it and I was just like, yeah, it's just not worth the money, not worth the value and everything. And honestly, like, the characters themselves are just whatever. I mean, don't get me wrong, Kenobi was a great show, but I really only enjoyed Kenobi and Vader, the characters that I grew up with. All these other people, the Inquisitors, each and every single one of them, I didn't give a fuck about. I really didn't. I mean, I personally hate Rebels. It's such a kid-centric show. It's just so... They canceled the Clone Wars to do Rebels, and it's so kid. Like, just the Clone Wars was such a great cartoon series that appeals to both adults and kids, because it had themes of both, you know, mature content and also just stuff that was enjoyable for kids. Rebels, on the other hand, I honestly just also don't like the animation. I just hate the animation. It's very Disney-fied. You know, I like the sharp edges of the Clone Wars, and then, you know, Rebels is very rounded and very soft. And I couldn't fuck with it. So yeah, I mean, I didn't really pick anything up last night. Unfortunately, I was looking for the new NECA mummy Michelangelo though. That's what I was there looking for. Unfortunately, none of the Walmarts in my area currently have that, or the brand new Shredder Secret of the Ooze. It seems like everywhere but LA is getting these figures, and it's just like, oh. But at least my friend Robert was able to secure me a Leo as Hunchback. So shout out to Robert for him being able to get me this figure at least. I think I did see Bride of Frankenstein, though. I will say that the other day somewhere else. But once again, I passed on her. The only reason I'm still collecting at least the 4 turtles is because I already bought Raphael. So I already have my foot in the door, and it's turtles and it's monsters. So I'll at least get the core 4, plus obviously Shredder. I don't think I'll get Casey. I don't know if they're going to release any kind of foot soldiers mutated as monsters. I would wonder what monster they would do, because it would have to be something that's somewhat of an army builder in a way, wouldn't it be? Because that's kind of what they are, right? They're army builders. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Maybe they just even won't do foot soldiers. They'll just stop at Shredder. But I think Shredder would be a really cool one. I'm pretty sure they have him already done it in mind. So, but we'll have to wait and see when they actually show us something, anything from Shredder. But talking about Shredder, yeah, Secret of the Ooze Shredder just is not hitting any of my local Walmarts. And if it has, people have already scooped them up, because I've been checking BrickSeek every single day, and it says not out of stock, out of stock, out of stock. The last closest one I saw on like Toy Shiz was in, I think, Arizona. That was the last time I saw someone find him in stores like close to where I'm at. And I was like, okay, give it a few more days, then it'll get here. And I think it's been about a week or 2 now at this point, so I don't think it's going to be coming anytime soon, at least from there. I don't know. Hopefully I'm able to find one and secure one very soon, because I love Secret of the Ooze. Growing up, that was my personal favorite TMNT movie. As I grew up, I realized how kiddish it was, and I did grow to love the original TMNT from 1990 a lot more. However, growing up as a kid, that movie was just a lot of fun. The jokes were great. The comedy, just same shit. The action, the turtles' interaction with each other, just everything all around was fun. The colors, the brightness of it, obviously it's not as dark and gritty as the first one. So, I mean, bright colors appeal to kids. What can I say? It's the same thing that happened with Batman. It's just, I mean, the difference being that Batman was a colorful comic before it got gritty, and then whereas the Ninja Turtles were a gritty comic that went colorful. So, there's different ways to look at things like that. But yeah, guys, super excited to open this guy up. Like I said, I do have Raphael. I'm on the hunt for Mummy Michelangelo, so super excited because this guy is a chonky figure. However, chunky figure, new figure, comes with an updated price. But we'll get into all of that when we get into this week's toy haul. But first, of course, let's talk this week's Coffee and Toys Live, guys. So once again, shout out and thank you so much to Diamond Select and their marketing manager, Zach Oath, for not only supporting this channel, but coming on to the channel's live show. So this is the second time their marketing manager, Zach Oath, has come on the show to talk some great toy news with us regarding Diamond Select. And we got into quite some juicy stuff. And I definitely poked some jabs at Hasbro and stuff, especially at their new packaging. And ironically enough, another former guest on the channel, Spectre Creative, who has 25 plus years of experience working in the toy industry as brand manager, as a legal writer, just working behind the scenes in the toy industry, put out a video on his channel regarding Hasbro's new plasticless, boxed packaging. And the reason I say it's funny and ironic is because I brought these issues up with Zach Oath himself regarding the packaging, asking him whether or not Diamond Select has any intentions of doing the same to their own packaging. And well, if you want the answer to that, definitely stay tuned to the end of this episode where I have this week's Coffee and Toys Live. So yeah, guys, the funny thing is also that Spectre Creative also mentioned that Hasbro is actually saving quite a lot of money with this closed off packaging. Losing that plastic window is actually saving Hasbro a lot of money when it comes to their packaging. However, toy prices still continue to rise. And the other funny and ironic thing about this is I also brought up this point with Zach Oath himself, and he said Diamond is actually not only maintaining prices, but actually actively lowering prices. So I don't know what high horse that Hasbro is on, but obviously something is going on there that is not right, which is one of the reasons why I personally have decided to not support them any further, mainly because they haven't put out any figures that I have actually wanted, I'll be honest. But yeah, I've completely bowed out of the Power Rangers Lightning Collection line, despite what I was saying last week about wanting to complete the Time Force team. I have decided to completely bow out of that. However, Star Wars I am completely out of, pretty much, unless they release a really cool clone. I think the only real figures I'll be picking up from them anytime soon will be the last three characters from the Commando Squad, only because I already picked up Boss, and so might as well pick up the last three. But other than that, I have no intentions of picking up any other Hasbro Black Series figures. I don't collect G.I. Joe or Transformers, so that's not even an issue. But yeah, guys, just the fact of the matter that prices are going up, I mean, look at that new Gore figure, guys. $30 for a single legend, guys. $30 I mean, that's fucking ridiculous, right? Especially considering when you can get a Marvel Select figure for $30, and not only will you get better paint applications, more detail, but you'll also get a shit ton of accessories, a diorama piece most of the time, and window packaging. Yes, he said that the Diamond Select Marvel Select line will remain in its original classic packaging. Other lines will move to the Deluxe, but the Deluxe also has windows. It actually has 3 windows. It has 1 on the front and 2 on the side, and Hasbro's used to only have 1 on the front. So that whole argument about, well, we're saving the environment, when they're really just trying to save themselves a pretty penny while giving us bad figures. And that's the other thing, not only are people able to figure swap real easy right now, but also we're not able to check paint applications. The amount of figures that have come out of that Spider-Man and Spinner 2-pack with really fucked up paint applications is ridiculous, especially from Hasbro. I mean, maybe from their Power Rangers division, but from their Marvel Legends line, it's just really, really fucking bad. And so I think there's going to become a real divide in the community really, really soon, as more and more of these closed packaging packages make their way into other lines, such as the Star Wars lines, because the next few figures that we're getting still will have and maintain that old Black Series mural plastic window packaging. However, if you saw the renders for the Luke Skywalker Mandalorian figure, you will have seen that that is a completely closed box, which is even more scary in my opinion, because Luke Skywalker is such a hit or miss figure in terms of his face sculpts, because Mark Hamill's likeness is one of those that is just really hard to capture in figure form, because based off the lighting, it really accentuates and shows off different features and aspects of his face. So it's really hard to capture a single, kind of face for him. It's kind of weird. Him and also Michael J. Fox, I feel like, have faces that are very hard to capture on action figure form, because just based on the shadow and the way they look and turn and stuff will determine how they look. It's kind of odd to say, but interesting at the same time. So it does suck for us collectors, but I think that's still pretty interesting, the fact that their faces kind of change a bit, very slightly, in terms of features and stuff based off the lighting. But yeah, guys, like I said, closed boxes are already becoming an issue. And the other thing that Spectre Creative did bring up about the closed packaging issue is that the images on those packages are actually more often than not computer renders and don't really accurately portray the figure you are buying. We will talk more about that when we talk about this week's toy news, especially regarding the Marvel Legends Gore figure. But yeah, guys, we will go back to that and a bit more in a sec. But going back to Diamond, so like I said, they are actively maintaining prices, lowering prices. They are not going away with the windows. So to get more from that interview, definitely stay tuned to the end of this episode, where Coffee and Toys Live from this week will be. So that wraps up this week's Coffee and Toys Live, but looking to the future, next week, guys, we will be taking a trip to the beautiful island of Kauai and speaking with Aloha Toy Photography. Super excited about that. He's a phenomenal toy photographer. He takes some amazing turtle shots, so super hyped to talk to him. And after that will be the show before the 2-week hiatus, but we will be speaking with 1/6 collector Austin Nicholas. Super excited to talk to him all about toys, Hot Toys, and the gym. After that, I will be taking a 2-week break as I will be out of town. And then after that, I do have a few guests that I am working on scheduling. Once everything is confirmed, I can put out a schedule and everything. But until then, guys, yeah, we have a few more shows left, and then there will be a 2-week break, like I said, for both the live show and the podcast. I will maintain, putting up reviews and stuff because all that will be put up prior to me leaving. But the stuff that I have to film week of because, one, it's alive, and two, deals with that week's toy news, I'm not going to deal with, So, yeah, after that, though, when we get back, we will definitely get the ball rolling. But talking about episodes and everything real quick, guys, not enough of you guys entered into last week's giveaway. Guys, we need 9 more people, and since we hit 1,000 followers or 1,000 subscribers here on YouTube, I decided to extend it one more week. So head on over to my Instagram at CoolFigurez, find the post where I announced that Coffee and Toys episode 50 is up on my YouTube channel now, and go ahead and post the giveaway word that you get by watching episode 50. You're going to have to enter it on that post, not comment it on the video, because I feel like if somebody saw that, they would have just had people commenting the code word. So I wanted it to be a little different, a little more difficult, to show that people actually watched episode 50. You know what I mean? So go ahead and check it out. And if you want to enter the giveaway, this may be a potential prize right here. I'm letting the winner pick. You can either get a Black Series, a DC Multiverse, or a NECA product up until $40. So you can get this one. Just saying, but you have to enter, and the winner will be announced episode 52 if we get 9 more people to enter. So with that being said, guys, why don't we go ahead and talk about this week's toy haul. As you can see, it ranges from a lot of stuff, guys. It's funny that I say this because last week I was like, I don't even think I'm gonna have anything for episode 51, and here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, actually 5 things, because I actually got in the Bo-Katan Black Series helmet. However, 1, I forgot I had this on pre-order, and 2, it was kind of an impulse buy because I really do like the character and I love Mandalorians. However, I have nowhere to put this, and the thing about my helmets that helps to justify the space that they take up is that I do have the potential to wear them someday for a costume or for something, for anything. However, with this being Bo-Katan's helmet and it being a female's helmet, that potential drops greatly to 0% chance, and it would only being a decoration piece. And to me, that just doesn't justify the price and the space that it takes up for me to keep it. So I will be sending that back, but it was still cool to get and see that she finally has a full helmet out for people to buy. If I had the space, but I have absolutely no space. In fact, I wish I had more space to put at least 2 more helmets up, but yeah, that's not gonna happen, unfortunately. So yeah, that's going back. But talking about this right here, like I said, this will be this week's unboxing, and I do actually still have the receipt in here, so let me move this because my friend Robert actually bought it with his credit card, so you don't need to see his credit card number. So shout out to my friend Robert for picking up the brand new NECA Leo as the Hunchback figure for me. This thing is massive. Look at the depth of this box, guys. It is fucking huge. Jam-packed full of great horror type accessories. I'm trying to move it around just in case the ring light is causing a glare on the window packaging. Not that that's going to matter because we will be opening this up at the end of this portion of the video, right before we get into Coffee and Toys Live. Next up, we will take a look at this guy right here. This is the Black Series Hyper Real Bespin Luke Skywalker. So while I was on Instagram, somebody did happen to mention that it was on sale for $40, guys. Now, if you don't know what this is, or this line is, or this sub line of the Black Series is, basically Hasbro wanted to make some premium Black Series figures that, were a little more closer to, I guess you would say, Mezco. And their first 2 figures were Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker. Back in the day, these figures were going for $80 retail, and I was able to snag Vader for $40 on sale on Amazon a long time ago. However, Luke Skywalker just never seemed to drop in price. until this week. And so on Instagram, Toy Collector or Can't Kill Chewy posted that he was $40 on Best Buy on clearance, and I couldn't say no. Since I already did have Vader, I figured why not get the only other figure in this subline. I feel like these two were meant to, be the starting point of a larger line. Maybe get a Han, Leia, Chewie, 3PO, and R2D2, but they didn't do too well. As you can see later years down the line, they still have plenty of these around to throw up on clearance. And so, yeah, unfortunately, the line never expanded past Luke and Vader. However, this line does have its pros and cons. The pros is that the underbody that they do have is a metal underbody. So it's fucking solid. And see, knowing that, especially having the Vader, and that Vader has the metal underbody as well, when I started collecting 1/6 figures, in my mind I was like, they're so expensive because of the soft goods, the detailed head sculpt, and also the body. It has to be metal. So I remember vividly my disappointment when I first opened up my Death Watch Mando and I picked it up and it was light as a feather, and I was just like, the fuck is this? However, not every 1/6 figure is light, because this guy, on the other hand, weighs a bit. We will talk about him in a sec. But getting back to this guy, so like I said, metal under skeleton. So this guy is solid. However, I think where they fucked up was their choice in material for the soft goods or the suits, the costumes, because they chose more of these rubbery, latexy kinds of material when his uniform wasn't even like a leather in the movie or anything like that. It was, soft good, like actual fabric. So it's really odd for them to go with this like really gummy, plasticky, rubber latex outfit. I really am fearful that it's not going to last too long. I was fearful that the same thing was going to happen with the Vader. However, it has lasted since I first got it, which was back maybe like 3, 4, 5 years ago. If I'm not mistaken, it could be. It had to have been like 3, 4, 5. 3 years ago. It couldn't have been 5 years ago. It had to be about 3 years ago. But the cool thing is they do come with these bases and they do interconnect. It comes with a little piece to interconnect them, which is why I say I think they were attempting to start a whole diorama scenario with the carbon freezing chamber and whatnot. But the line never went past them. But I'm super happy and glad to finally add the second and only other figure to this subline to my collection. Like I said, I just really worry about the suit and its deterioration rate. Hopefully it lasts as long as the Vader one, if not longer. Like I said, not that the Vader one's starting to deteriorate or anything. It's actually still in really good condition. It's not in direct sunlight and stuff like that. That also helps. But yeah, I feel like this guy's going to look really good next to that Vader now. So super hyped and awesome to have this guy. But next, let's go ahead and talk about the brand new McFarlane Mega Figure Bane. Yes, guys, if you cannot tell, I am a huge Bane fan. In fact, he is my second favorite Batman villain, second only to, of course, the Clown Prince of Crime himself. Whoops. The Joker, so super hyped and excited when McFarlane announced this guy, especially after that ridiculous Build-A-Figure that we got. It's still a cool statue up on my shelf, but this is what I wanted. And this is the best Mega figure we have gotten in a long time from McFarlane Toys, The clay face was really good in sculpt, but really bad in paint apps. I feel like they could have added a little more reddish tone to it so it didn't look so shitty. Not that it looks bad, but like the color itself looks like actual fucking human feces. And then Man-Bat had such a top heavy half and such small legs. I mean, you can tell he skips leg days, and we don't fuck with people that skip leg day here, right? I'm just kidding, guys. But yeah, he has really skinny legs and a really big heavy top half, and so he tends to fall over. Not really hold himself up too well. His legs tend to spread out if you don't have a stand on each leg. The other thing is you cannot switch out his hands even if you bought third-party ones on eBay because they're sculpted into the wings. So there's those cons. The last big Mega figure that we got that was really good, in my opinion, was the Titan Joker. And even that one had its issues only because of its skinny legs. And once again, thicker upper body and everything. And don't even get me started on the Killer Croc, where his fucking toe just... Go check out my review of Killer Croc if you want to know more about that. But, and the replacement I got isn't that much better, but at least the toe doesn't fucking fall off. So, yeah. Super hyped on this guy. Absolutely love him. He's basically like, you know, a comic version, McFarlaneized. So, he can fit pretty much anywhere. He's not really like a Dark Knight Rises Bane or this Bane, that Bane. He's just more of a comic Bane, which I feel like a lot of us were waiting for and were wanting. However, he doesn't come with fucking fisted hands. Todd, what the fuck, dude? Not even one? You couldn't just give us one fucking fisted hand for Bane? Like, literally the biggest bad guy. I can't even take a photo of him punching Batman because he has no fisted hands. Like, Todd, charge us the extra $10. Give us the fisted hands. I don't care at this point. I'm not buying every toy anymore, so I can invest that extra $10. It's just ridiculous that a figure like this, a character like this, does not come with fisted hands. Even Hasbro Star Wars Black Series included fisted hands with their Dark Troopers, which are essentially the same price as this guy, if not a little cheaper. I think those are $30 deluxe figures. This guy was, I think, $40. So for $10 more, we should be getting fisted hands, Todd. It's not like Bane didn't sell out. You know what I mean? It's not like he didn't know that this was going to be a big want for figure fans and collectors and all that stuff. But, you know, Todd, he's going to Todd. So, moving on to the last thing that we do have here on the table for this week's toy haul, and it is the SSR 1/6 Joker. Yes, this is a third-party 1/6 scale Joker figure based off his likeness in The Dark Knight Returns. Now, I know, guys, I know, but it's come to my attention that my Hot Toys collection is a collection of companionship. And let me explain to you what I mean by that. Batman has Superman. Django has essentially his son right here next to him. Goblin here has Doc Ock, and soon enough, Spider-Man will be joining him. He's on his way from China, guys. We'll talk about that when he gets here. Technically, he comes with his own companion, Grogu, but he's in the box. Boba has his Death Watch guy right behind him. Plo Koon has Kit Fisto, which is back there. Marty obviously has Doc, but Doc's on a pre-order, so waiting for that. Classic Spidey has a classic pairing with Classic Goblin. So obviously, Batman needed a companion, and well, that's how I ended up with this guy. So yeah, I mean, under retail, couldn't say no. Beautiful figure. Absolutely love the sculpt. And like I said, this guy weighs a bit. This guy's a hefty figure. This is what I expected in terms of weight when I opened up a Hot Toys. Now, don't get me wrong, a few Hot Toys do have some weight to them, but this thing, I wish you guys could feel the weight of this. The only real thing that I will say about this guy is that I really wish that the coat came with some wiring. It would look really cool to just flare this out, like if, you know, everything's in motion and stuff, but second you let it go, it folds right back in. So yeah, unfortunately it doesn't come with a wire, because that would have really added some really cool dynamic poses and everything to it. But it is what it is. So yeah, guys, that wraps up this week's toy haul. So with that being said, guys, why don't we go ahead and move on into this week's toy news. And there is quite a bit, to be honest. Once again, this week, surprisingly, but hey, like I said, the holidays are rapidly approaching, so I'm sure they're trying to rapidly approach to their deadlines and get their stuff out. I'm sure stuff's going to start trickling out sooner rather than later, guys. Starting off with this week's Target Fall Geek Out. This week's company is none other than NECA Toys. So if you are interested in the Jason Yang, aka Work More or Less box design Crooked Ninja Goon and Rock Soldier, you're in luck because it's up on the Target website. Probably sold out by now, to be honest, if you're watching this on Sunday, which I don't know when else you'd be watching. Well, I mean, you could be watching it past Sunday, but you wouldn't be able to watch it before Sunday because it gets uploaded Sunday, but it was up on their website. So if you are looking for it, go ahead and check. Maybe it goes in and out of stock. The previously Walmart exclusive Stern pinball set with the metallic shredder is now at Target, guys. Man, how bad do you have to fuck up an exclusive that a company goes, yeah, we're going to take this from you and give it to them? Which, to think about, it should have rightfully so been a Target exclusive in the first place, because the shredder is a cartoon shredder, and they handle the exclusive stuff for the cartoon line, and Walmart handles the exclusive stuff for the live action stuff. So I don't know how that was that, but thankfully I have already gotten mine. I picked it up for literally retail on OfferUp a while ago. So yeah, don't have to get that, thankfully. I'm pretty sure they've raised the price on that as well. But yeah, so that is now at Target if you missed out on it previously when Walmart had it, and even I think Stern Pinball had it on their website initially. I think actually Stern Pinball had the initial pre-orders, and then it went to Walmart, and then, you know, now it's at Target. Leo as Hunchback is also a part of this week's Geek Out, so go ahead and check that out. And last but not least, the fucking neutrinos are also part of it. They're so fucking annoying in the show. I don't get the appeal to them. They're just so fucking annoying. But moving on from that, they did also announce their new Dracula accessory set. So if you didn't know, each of their Universal monsters that they are doing Ultimates for is getting its own separate accessory set, which not only comes with accessories, but also a background. So for their Dracula figure, you will get a coffin, a rat, a possum, a spider, and a cockroach in a coffin. I couldn't really make out what that last one is, but it looks like a cockroach climbing into a coffin. So who knows? But with that being said, guys, that wraps up NECA news. So why don't we go ahead and talk some McFarlane news, because it seems like one week he has one thing and the other week he has 50 things. It's never anything in between, you know. It's always just like, well, here's one offering, or here's 50 offering, guys. He's so erratic in terms of like releases and stuff like that, you know, because this week he did solicit and show off the brand new McFarlane Stores exclusive mind controlled Hush Superman. So if you are a fan of the Hush comic series, well, seems like McFarlane is going to be tackling that line next, starting off with a Superman figure, which of course was controlled by Poison Ivy in the comics. Spoiler alert for a comic book series that's been around for quite some time now. But yeah, but he did also show off a gold label Tim Drake Robin. My friend Robert is super excited about that. He did also show off the brand new Page Puncher wave, starting off with Captain Cold, the Flash's nemesis, and also, I guess, Heatwave's nemesis, because Heatwave's part of this new Page Punchers line. The Atom, the Flash, of course, and the first Page Puncher mega figure, Gorilla Grodd. All of these are up for pre-order now. So that is it for McFarlane Toys news this week. Moving on to SH Figuarts, because I don't really talk about them too much unless they really pull out something that really impresses me. And this week, they really fucking impressed me, because they showed off and solicited orders, I believe. Or no, I don't think they solicited orders. I think they only revealed... No, they only revealed images. They haven't solicited orders yet. They only revealed images of their brand new Book of Boba Fett, Boba on Throne. And yes, you are getting a throne. So that's why I said, guys, they really impressed me this week. So that is it from SH Figuarts. So let's go ahead and move on to Beast Kingdom. The newest addition to their DAH line is none other than The Dark Knight Returns Armored Batman. It seems like Beast Kingdom really enjoys this comic because they are doing quite a lot from it. So yeah, now they are tackling the armored look. Moving on to some Super 7 news, guys. They announced and solicited orders for their Wave 2 Bruce Lee figures. The first one being The Contender, where he's essentially exactly what the title says. A contender. He's walking up, ready to fight, but not quite the fighter yet, but don't worry because that is the second offering from Super 7 from their Wave 2. And as you can see, he has definitely been fighting and he has some bloody hands to show you. So yeah, super cool. I only wish the articulation would be better. I feel like the Diamond Select Bruce Lee figures are way more superior because of their articulation. And also their accessories. They come with some pretty badass accessories. So that's it for Super 7 news this week. Now let's go ahead and talk about Marvel Legends. They did announce, solicit, and reveal a brand new Gore figure. Amazon exclusive, guys. All new sculpt, all new everything. $30 fucking for one figure, guys. And so going back to what Spectre was saying, because he mentioned it about this figure in particular, the images on those closed packaging boxes are actually renders, and they aren't even accurate renders, guys, because on Gore's box it shows him to have pinless technology, which as we all know is a thing. However, when you look at the pretty promotional pictures that Hasbro released, you will clearly see that there are pins. Now, this can be two things. Either this is just the prototype and the final product will have no pins, or it's exactly as Spectre Creative says, and they are showing off a product that is not really in the box. Now, that's a case for false advertising. Just saying, but we have to wait and see until that figure is released. Like I said, there's still time. If they release it and it doesn't have pins, this was just a prototype. But if they release it and it has the pins, well, I guess we can all get some cheap Marvel Legends. So anyways, guys, with that being said, let's go ahead and talk about the final bit of news that we have for this week, and that is some Star Wars Black Series news. No, I don't collect this line anymore, but I will still talk about it. So as you all know, the Andor series is rapidly approaching. It was supposed to actually premiere, I believe, this past week. However, I don't think they wanted it to conflict with She-Hulk, so they went ahead and postponed it to, I think, the end of September now. So we have a few more weeks to wait, but that is quickly approaching. So of course, Hasbro and Star Wars Black Series have you covered with some figures, because they showed off and announced 4 new figures to the line. We're getting new variant figures for the line, okay? We are getting an Imperial Officer, Dark Times. We are getting another Imperial Officer from Ferrix. We are getting a Cassian Andor from the Aladani mission, or whatever they want to call it. And last but not least, we are getting everybody's favorite peg warmer from the archive line, the Shore Trooper. And that one is a Target exclusive, guys, so head over to your local Target for that one. But yeah, that's why I said 4 variant figures, because we've gotten Imperial Officers before, we've gotten Cassian Andor, we've gotten Shore Troopers. So it's not even a case of new figures. You know, I even consider the new Kenobi wave new figures. You know, even the Kenobi, well, I guess the Vader is. And the Vader is literally just the fucking old Vader boxed up and everything, repackaged in Kenobi packaging. And I should know, I saw it last night and I was just like, that looks exactly like the one on my shelf. I think Hasbro really dropped the ball in giving us another regular Vader when they really could have gone above and beyond, and dare I say it, given us a deluxe Darth Vader with a alternate head sculpt where it's slashed, an alternate box where it's slashed, maybe some light up features. That's a fucking deluxe, Hasbro. That is a fucking deluxe. Not a single figure with some extra accessories, plopped in, but a figure with essentially 2 figures in one. That is a fucking deluxe. And that is something that I personally would have paid a good amount of money for. But Hasbro's gonna Hasbro, and of course they're just gonna repackage the old Darth Vader that they already have in the Kenobi packaging. So it is what it is, guys. But with that being said, that wraps up this week's toy news. So before we get into this week's Coffee and Toys Live, guys, why don't we go ahead and do this week's unboxing. So like I said, here we have the brand new NECA TMNT Leonardo. So like I said, it does have a collector friendly window packaging right there. A nice image of the figure right there. And with that being said, why don't we go ahead and bust this guy open. Let's go ahead and come down here. Always less tape on the bottom, guys. Always less tape. Okay. Also, on the bottom, there's some instructions for the sword, so be very careful with them. There's a certain way you should put them in. I'm going to hold it right here so that way you guys can see just in case. So yeah, let's go ahead and open this up. Ooh. Their backdrops are actually a lot thicker now, so it's not just paper, it's actual cardboard, which is pretty awesome, I have to say, because now it actually will stand as a backdrop. So why don't we go ahead and, I mean, I guess it's somewhat of a backdrop. There's stuff in the background, but it's really fucking dark, so it's going to be really hard to use as a backdrop, but it's cool that at least they're making them a little thicker for the price that we're paying. So really quick, here is an awesome tray shot of Leo in his packaging. Behind him, he does have all his great accessories, along with a few of them in the front that are starting to fall out. So why don't we go ahead and actually remove the accessories from the back right here via this tape. That way I can pull them out and show them to you in the tray. So we do have some alternate hands. We do have some flame effects for the sword. We do have some shovels, a bone, and a whole lot of fun. Especially with Halloween right around the corners, guys. This is perfect. Like I said, I need Mikey. I need Mikey, but he's just not coming to my area. But yeah, guys, let me go ahead and rip this guy out of his packaging real quick, and we'll be right back. Alright guys, so here we have Leo all out of his packaging. I went ahead and threw a sword in his hand, threw some fire on it, and also gave him his brain accessory, which is actually really cool because it actually opens up. And so NECA, as always, going above and beyond with their accessories. Really fucking cool. You know, I have to admit, when they announced that this guy was going to be the Hunchback, I was like, really? You couldn't go with something more exciting, but I have to admit, this thing is actually pretty fucking cool. And the really cool thing is, if you didn't know, his shell does open up in the back to store all his great accessories. Now this is a callback to the original TMNT figures, or at least the classic ones from back in the day that actually had this play feature in them as well. I'm running into a bit of an issue here with it closing. Okay, no, never mind. It was just a little stuff. It just doesn't close as smoothly as it opens, but it does close fine, so we're good there. But yeah, guys, all in all, pretty great figure. It seems like his wrist is just a little too loose to maintain the weight of this sword with the torch, so it kind of just moves like that, but if you get it in the right spot, it stays up. So all in all, guys, a really fantastic figure and great addition to this week's toy haul. So yeah, guys, episode 51 is essentially over. Like I said, stay tuned for Coffee and Toys Live with this week's guest, Diamond Select's marketing manager, Zach Oat. That is coming up right after this portion. But guys, like I said, thank you so much to each and every single one of you that have hit that subscribe button. We have hit 1,000 subscribers here on the CoolFigurez channel, and I couldn't be more astonished and thankful, guys. Honestly, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much to each and every single one of you that take time out of your busy day to listen to me talk about toys. I really do appreciate it, because when I first started this channel, I didn't know if anybody would be interested in listening to me talk about toys. I was happy when there was 2 people that were interested. I was happy when there was 12. Now there's 1,000 of you guys, so thank you so much to each and every single one of you. You guys are all lovely people. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Hope you have a fantastic week. And like I said, if you haven't already subscribed, be a part of the 2,000 mark and subscribe now. With that being said, guys, don't forget to go ahead and follow me over on Instagram at CoolFigurez, as well as my other alternate Instagram, Epic Shots by CoolFigurez. That's where I post my more thought out, planned out, more edited pics. And if you like unboxings, check me out over on TikTok. That's where I post all my unboxings. If you can and want to help support the channel, please check out my Patreon link down in the description below. With that being said, guys, once again, do not forget to enter the giveaway, guys. We only need 9 more people. Go to Instagram at CoolFigurez, find where my episode 50 of Coffee and Toys podcast post is, and enter the giveaway code found in episode 50. 9 more people and we'll do the giveaway. I'll announce the winner on episode 52. With that being said, guys, if you made it this far, go ahead and type down in the comments below Joker. That way I know you made this far and you're enjoying the content. And finally, for reals, guys, why don't we go ahead and get into this week's Coffee and Toys Live. All right. Welcome back to the CoolFigurez page. I'm your host, Jesse the Bat Madrigal, a.k.a. The Buff Collector. And welcome to episode 29 of Coffee and Toys, where I speak to a new guest every week about toys, toy collecting, toy photography, and so much more. This week, I would like to welcome back Diamond Select's marketing manager and previous guest on the show, Zach O. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How are you doing, man?
Pretty good, pretty good. It's been a long, busy week, but it's finally Wednesday, halfway done, so almost there.
Almost.
Yep. How's your week been, man?
Good, good. Working on a lot of different stuff. I have a lot of wear a lot of different hats. So we just wrapped up an issue of Previews, the big catalog that comes out every month with all of our stuff in it. So we had to get all that. I had to get all that text done and copy editing the pages and stuff like that. Now I got to put together a big marketing report for last month to show everything that went on, and yeah, it's good. Prepping for New York Comic Con as well. That's coming up.
I think that's like the biggest thing I want to talk to you about is, cons have returned and, you guys have been to, I think, one or two by now at this point, and I know you guys have a few more coming up. So what are your thoughts on cons coming back? How do you see it now versus what it used to be like? Do you see a difference, or is it just like back in the old days now that everybody can gather and everything? Does it feel like back before we couldn't?
Yeah, it was interesting doing New York Comic Con last year. Everybody had to wear masks, and they actually had people walking around making sure that everybody was wearing their masks. You're more conscious of people, they're talking to you when they're coming up to the table to ask you questions and things like that. Star Wars Celebration was a little bit different. I don't think they had a mask requirement, but it was a really good show for us. I spent a lot of time in line, and some of the celebrities had like masks on. And then San Diego came along. San Diego was it seemed like any other show. Yeah, most people had masks on; they were supposed to, but it felt like an old convention. They closed off the whole front road in front of the convention center for the first time, I think, and it was so that was interesting. But yeah, I'm looking forward to New York Comic Con. It's one of my favorite shows to do.
Nice, nice. That's exciting, man. I mean, we finally get to, get to see all this new product in person when you guys get to show it off instead of, online pictures and online releases. As much as we love that, especially the people that get to sit at home and watch that, getting those in-hand pictures and seeing them up close and personal is always nice. You know what I mean? Especially getting to see like future figures that you guys are starting to tease and just be like, well, look at what's coming later on down the line, just not quite yet. But, I feel like there's a certain piece of cons that just adds to the excitement of new toys as well. There's just, I think it's the gathering of also just other fans of toys and stuff. You're amongst, fellow collectors. You're talking about all the new releases, and you just really feed off each other's energy. And I feel like that really, shows in terms of like when the excitement for these new figures comes, because you're able to talk to these people that know what's coming. You're able to talk to these people that are just as excited about these new figures as you are, because you're all in that one shared space.
No, absolutely. I had some great conversations with people about new stuff, and especially with different press outlets that were coming through looking to do interviews. And yeah, it was a good show, and we showed off a lot of new stuff, and I think people were pretty excited about what they saw. So that was great.
That's great. That's great. So it's sounding like 2022 has been a good year so far for Diamond Select.
Yeah. We launched a couple of different lines. We launched Gargoyles. Nothing's come out yet, but we launched pre-orders on that. We launched Jean-Claude Van Damme line of dioramas. We've got the action figures coming up as well. We launched Darkwing Duck just this last month with the diorama. And of course AEW, which we launched at San Diego Comic Con. We did an exclusive there, Mini Mates 2-pack, and we're going to do Mini Mates and dioramas, and yeah, it was a great response there. We had a really fun signing. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff that we've done so far, and there's a lot more stuff coming in the second half of the year. It's going to be pretty cool.
Nice. That's exciting. Anything you could talk about yet?
I kind of informally announced it, but we're going to be doing some stuff with Dungeons and Dragons, the
Oh,
classic
nice.
cartoon. We're going to do some mini mates, and we're also going to do some dioramas. We'll be showing that off pretty soon. It was one of the licenses we announced back when we announced G.I. Joe and Transformers and Power Rangers. We're definitely going to be doing some stuff with that. Hopefully, we're going to show that off in the next couple of months. We've got another Marvel Select that we're going to be another couple of Marvel Selects we're going to be offering in the next couple of months, which are very cool. Plus another Disney store exclusive that's going to get announced next month as well. Two actually. So there's going to be 2 new releases and 2 new pre-orders. 3 if you count Beta Ray Bill, 4 if you count Apocalypse. That are all sort of getting knocked out one by one. So it's a pretty exciting time. For Marvel Select collectors, and for me, I love Marvel Select, so I enjoy taking pictures with them and seeing what they can do as far as posability. A lot of new stuff. We're going to show off some more gargoyles, which is exciting. Some more Darkwing Duck, the Darkwing Duck action figure we're going to show off.
Nice.
I'm trying to think. What did I write down? I jotted down a couple of things. For 220, new exciting coming. The Dungeons and Dragons was one of the big things that I'm excited about. We're also going to be offering that first JCVD action figure very soon. I think we're going to offer it in another month or 2.
Nice. So a lot of exciting new stuff coming our way from all sorts of different licenses.
Yes, we got a lot of licenses and a lot of different product categories. We got the dioramas, the mini mates, the action figures, the resin statues, the deforms that we do, little 3-inch figurines. We don't do as many vehicles as we used to, but every now and then we're looking to get back into it, I think. So it's all something different every day for me because I'm writing about all this stuff, and it's just I consider myself very lucky to have the job that I do.
No, yeah, you get to talk about toys and great licenses all day, every day. I mean, what could be better than that, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm personally excited for your guys' venture with TMNT. I should be getting in that last Ronin statue. Amazon says Friday, so hopefully it comes in Friday. So
yeah, I'm not sure how far away we are from that. That may be their initial. When we solicit stuff, we put out a date. Just 6 months down the road, as an estimate. But a lot of places will stick with that date, and so then, so they don't necessarily update or go with a quarter or part of the year. So it may not be shipping next Friday, but hopefully it's going to be pretty soon. It's a really beautiful piece. I think the one that we had at San Diego was a production sample, so it can't be that far away. But yeah, it's a really great piece, and we actually have some TMNT mini mates that just arrived in the warehouse for Diamond Comics 40th anniversary. So those are going to be shipping to stores in the next month or so.
nice.
It's very excited about it. It's the first TMNT mini mates we've done first TMNT product we've done released in a while. It's been a while since we did like the mini mates from the new cartoon and the banks and all that stuff. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm not as big a TMNT fan as other people, but I grew up reading the comics and watching the shows, and so I consider myself a fan. So I'm excited to get the 4-pack in hand, the mini mate 4-pack.
Nice. Somebody in the comments says they look great, so a lot of people are excited as well. So there's definitely excitement for them there, and people want them.
Yeah, no, it's definitely something people have been looking forward to, and they're very retro style, retro appeal. Some people were wondering if they were going to come with all the correct accessories because some of the early pictures didn't have them, but they will come with all 4 turtles come with their weapons, their key weapons.
Nice. That's exciting as well. So
yeah, I'm a big Mini-Mate fan, so you'll find me talking about them a lot. It's a lot tonight in terms of stuff I'm looking forward to, stuff that's my favorite,
But I feel like that's something that's kind of like great about Diamond Select is that you guys have that Mini-Mate line, which is kind of in a sense similar to a Funko Pop line in the way that you guys don't have to make unique sculpts for every single individual figure. You guys have a base body, you guys just put the paint on it, you add a few accessories here and there. I'm sure you guys have to change sculpts a little bit here and there, but for the most part they're basically like the same body, correct?
Yeah, it's the same base body system, a 2-inch block figure, so they're fully interchangeable. We don't always promote it depending on the line, but they are fully interchangeable. And so, like, when we do a new box set or something like that, there will be new parts, new hair pieces, new weapons, things like that. Some have more than others. Some have more, we use we'll use old parts in new colors. Just like Lego would. And it's a fun line. It's been going for 20 years, believe it or not. It started back in
Wow.
2002. They were bigger back then. They were 3 inches tall,
Oh,
and now they're
really?
2 inches. Yes. So when we started the Marvel line 19 years ago, we started the Marvel Mini Made line, and now they became 2 inches, and that became the standard. So
Mm.
yeah, 19 years of Marvel. We've done probably several hundred characters at this point, or a few hundred anyway, and we've probably made over 1,000 of them. But it's a really fun line, and you get to cross them over with Predator and Alien and Transformers and GI Joe. It's a really interesting, unique phenomenon. How long it's been going and how great the fan base is. There's some really great communities out there for Mini-Mate fans. Marvel Select, not to say mini mates are same as action figures. They are like little action figures, but Marvel Select's been around for 20 years as well. So we're celebrating that anniversary this year.
Oh, nice. So you guys have a lot to be excited for. You guys have 20 years of Mini-Mates and 20 years of Marvel Select. So two of your biggest, basically, properties, essentially.
Yeah. Those are our two flagships. Marvel Select is definitely a flagship. The Marvel license in general is a flagship, but the fact that Marvel Select's been around for 20 and Marvel Miniature's been around for 19, they're definitely our longest running, consistently running lines.
So how beneficial is it that you guys are able to use these base bodies basically unlimited for all these different characters versus having to make unique sculpts?
It definitely helps. If there's a license we want to make mini mates of, and we want to turn it around real quick. We want to get them out to the market, maybe faster than normal, maybe for a convention. If it's a new license, we can, we've got such a library of parts that we've made, and and we have the base body ready to go, that we could probably turn a set around pretty quick. Even now with new parts, the mini mates are still some of the quickest ones we can get out to retail.
Mm-hmm.
I think right now, have been some delays with, in the post-COVID world. Things are running a little behind just from, the initial slowdown. So a lot of our stuff is, getting close to a year turnaround from the time we solicit it to the time it comes out. But mini mates are still right around 6 months, which is good, because that's what our normal, old pre-COVID turnaround time used to generally be.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, mini mates are not easy to make, but they're convenient to make sometimes, which is part of the fun of them, that we can get them out relatively quickly to take advantage of a movie or a new license or a convention. So that's definitely one of the benefits. But the base body is just a lot of fun. We'll just put out a promo mini made at a convention, and we're going to do one for New York Comic Con actually. We'll announce that in a little bit. But the one for New York Comic Con is just a base mini made body with a brand name on the chest, and we'll give those out at the booth to people who come
Oh,
by.
that's cool. That's really cool. So, with these mini mates and stuff, having said that you guys have made thousands of characters, is there a character or a franchise or a license that you guys have not yet touched that you personally would love to do in mini mate form?
Um, I know a lot of us at the company would like to do Star Wars mini mates, which is
Ooh,
tricky. It's tricky.
I'm
There's a lot
sure.
of different players in the Star Wars action figure world. We do make action figures for Star Wars for the Disney store,
Mm-hmm.
so maybe there's a possibility that they might be interested in that in the future, and that might be something we can do. But a lot of factors would have to line up for that to happen, and it makes it very unlikely. But
Never
it
say
would still be
never.
very cool. Yeah, never say never is what my boss always says. The president, Chuck, DST Chuck, and never say never. And I'm not even like mega super hardcore Star Wars fan. I love Star Wars. I've seen
Hmm.
all the, I haven't seen all the animated series, but I've seen all the live action stuff.
Yeah.
Um, but it's definitely would be very cool to see as mini mates, and I think they do really well, obviously. So, um, yeah, that would definitely be one. Although I will say that we once designed mini mates based on Ferris Bueller's Day Off, which is like my favorite movie of all time.
Oh
So
yeah.
if they ever got around to making those, if they ever got around to making those would probably have to technically be my favorite mini mates of all time.
That would be definitely an interesting set with him and I forget his friend's name.
Cameron,
Cameron, dude, that movie. I
Ferris
would li
Cameron.
I would
I think we probably did Sloane, the
Oh
girlfriend,
yeah,
and
girlfriend.
I think the principal was the fourth character.
That would have been a good set right there, man. Man, I mean, too bad 80 movies aren't as big as they used to be back then. I feel like if they were as big now, then you guys would be able to, be able to put that out and everybody would eat it up. But I think everybody would still eat that up regardless. I mean, it's Ferris Bueller. I mean, I don't know
Oh
anybody
yeah,
that's ever watched that movie that doesn't enjoy it, or, at least find some kind of joy in that movie.
I think we might have to move on to '90s movies instead of '80s movies. So,
Yeah.
but we still do good with '80s. We still do good with '80s stuff, like the cartoon '80s cartoon stuff. It's all still He-Man and Ninja Turtles and GI Joe and
Gargoyles.
Transformers. It's all still as popular as it ever was, and those all started in the '80s. So, um, it's a good time to be an '80s fan, definitely.
No, yeah, definitely. I think it's just a good time to be a pop culture fan or action figure fan in general right now. You
Yeah,
have like kind of like you said with Star Wars, what's the case with every kind of license now. There's so many players doing so many different takes on them. If you don't like this one, you can like this one, you can have this one, you can have that one. You know what I mean? There's
yeah.
so many different players in every license nowadays that it's like, wow, you really can pick and choose what you like. And yet we still always find a reason to complain for some reason. I don't know why, but all these infinite options, and we're still gonna bitch and complain, but we're gonna be collectors, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
So, I guess with 2022 being the year of like a lot of changes in the toy industry in terms of packaging, shipping, prices, what is your guys' take been on it in 2022? Because it seems like a lot of companies are kind of just, using that as their go-to, like we're doing this because of this. I don't know if you saw, but Hasbro recently took away the windowless packaging, and a lot of people are not happy about it. Just curious what your guys' thoughts are on all of this. Have you guys thought about doing any of this to your guys' packaging?
Um, we actually did recently overhaul the packaging. We have stopped doing a lot of Select, which was a very plastic heavy packaging. We still do the occasional one. Marvel Select, I think, needs to be in the Select packaging.
Mm-hmm.
It's in the name and it's probably in the contract as well. But we started doing a lot of deluxe figures. So you'll find Lord of the Rings, and now, Cobra Kai, some other licenses will be in the deluxe packaging, which is it has a front window and it has side windows usually, but it's definitely a lot less plastic than the Select packaging. But we will still use a Select for bigger toy lines like Nightmare Before Christmas and figures lines that need a lot of both. We still actually do deluxe versions of Nightmare Before Christmas as well. So. No. So definitely, definitely, packaging is something we think about, but it's not necessarily 100% tied to ecological concerns. It just happens to fall in that it is better for the environment. But a lot of it has to do with price. Where we are offering more streamlined figures that can fit into deluxe packaging as opposed to needing the massive Select packaging. I don't know that the
Mm-hmm.
Select packaging is necessarily more expensive than the deluxe packaging, but due to cost increases, we may not be able to include as many action accessories, which means that you don't need that much packaging. We still include a lot, depending on the line,
Mm-hmm.
but it's definitely something we have to think about a lot more. What we can include, due to the fact that prices are on the increase across the board.
Hmm. So have you guys seen like well, I guess what I'm trying to say is like would you guys ever get rid of the window packaging like Hasbro has, or do you guys like that, it's a collector friendly box that they can see the figure and stuff like that?
I think for the industry, for the fandom, for the hobby, it's a big step, so that people can't see what the action figure looks like before they buy it. I think it's um, not to never say never, but I don't know. I don't see it something we're going to be doing anytime soon because there's unless there was a law implemented. I don't think it's something we would go for just because people like to see the figure before they buy it. I think it's
Hmm.
just universal. Um, and people definitely want to see our figures before they buy them. Since the paint is such a big deal with our figures, we do a lot more paint applications than a lot of
Hmm.
figure lines, um, and it's something that needs to be seen. I think in order to make the decision.
No, yeah, definitely. I totally agree with that. And yeah, you guys definitely do have way more paint applications. And it's kind of crazy to think about because your guys' price for a Marvel Select is about what, like 30, 35, depending on the size?
I don't think we've gone to 35. I think 30 is still the highest price for our action figures. I don't think we. I'm trying to think if I can think of a deluxe. Well, I think the deluxe golem that we did in the larger box with the extra accessories and the big rock. I think that was a little bit more expensive, maybe 40. Um, not sure about that, but for the most part, we've actually lowered the price of action figures for a lot of them. So like a lot of the figures are going for 25 now, 24.99. So like I think Invincible is 24.99. Um, Again, streamlining the packaging, streamlining the accessories. Invincible is 24.99, I believe. I think Lord of the Rings is still 30. Marvel Select is still 30. Um, but I think Muppets is down to 24.99 for the smaller packaging. Not 100% sure about that because most of those there's two figures per package. Um, but we definitely do offer a lot more $25 action figures than we have. The prices on most of our big select figures went up to 30 pre-COVID, actually. So we haven't actually seen a lot of increases in the COVID years, except for resin has gone up a little bit, and mini mates have gone up a little bit as well. We've actually stopped making mini mate 2 packs because they're not really an impulse buy like they used to be, with the price going up. So
Hmm.
we stopped doing 2 packs and we started doing 6 packs, which are
Mm.
a little bit more expensive, a little bit more of a dive to take, but you manage to get a whole set, and I think it's easier for retailers to carry as well as people to buy. So it's a trade off.
No, yeah, that's actually really interesting because what I was going to get at is that Marvel Legends are slowly creeping up to that $30 price point. Yet, like you said, you guys have way more paint applications, way more unique sculpts, way more accessory and diorama pieces that get included with your Marvel Select figures. It's kind of crazy because, like, I was looking at the Human Torch figure that you had sent me, and I was really blown away how you guys didn't just paint it red or orange. You guys literally used a translucent plastic orange, and that was so cool and interesting, especially as a toy photographer, because you can shine light through it and it passes through, it gives it a cool effect, it looks really great on camera. Whereas I feel like Marvel Select, or I'm sorry, not Marvel Select, Marvel Legends would have just painted it like a base red and a few flame colored here and there, and not even giving us, an extra head or hands or even a diorama base like you guys. In fact, that Human Torch figure is kind of like two figures in one. You guys include the modern version and the classic version.
Yeah, that was a good one for accessories. It came with all the flame hands and the extra chest piece and some different and the base, of course. I think a lot of that was due to the fact that there weren't as many paint applications on the Human Torch as there would be on a normal figure. So I think we were able to save a little money there and transfer that to cool accessories. So it's definitely something you have to look at total cost when you're pricing out a figure. Sometimes we may go for a little bit more expensive figure if we can balance it out with maybe a little less expensive figure down the road. But for the most part, you need to hit a certain price point, a certain cost in order to offer the price that you want. just because, there's everybody gets a discount. You offer a discount to the manufacturer, to the distributor, then they offer a discount to the retailers, and you have to be able to get the price that you need for the cost that you're spending. So it's, if it ever seems like, oh, something got cut, for no reason whatsoever, there's probably a reason. And we try to keep our fans up to date on what an item comes with. We try not to overpromise, and we try to let people know when something changes.
No, yeah, that's great, man. That's great. And like I said, that's what's so amazing about your guys' figure lines, is that you guys put all that care and effort and not only into producing the line, but also to informing the fans of what's coming, what's changing, what's happening, which a lot of toy companies nowadays don't really do. They kind of just, try to put something up on Facebook or Instagram real quick and kind of just let the comments go. But you guys seem like you guys are a lot more in touch with your clients or your audience and stuff like that. I did see someone in the comments ask, are you guys looking to ever do a update on your Marvel Select Wolverine like you guys did with your Immortal Hulk?
We're trying out a couple different updates. Iron Man Silver Centurion was a little bit of an update for our Iron Man figure. It was a different costume, obviously, but we wanted to make a more posable, more better accessorized Iron Man.
Yeah, that one came packed.
Yeah, no, that one came with a lot of stuff too. That was a really good figure, and a lot of people said so, which is great. The Hulk was definitely we just felt it was time to replace that old Incredible Hulk with the Immortal Hulk. We are working on another overhaul of one of our old school figures, and when I say overhaul, I mean a complete new sculpt, new figure, not adding articulation to an old sculpt or anything like that. So we are doing a new version of an older character that needs it for sure, and I guess we'll see how that one does. If it does well, then I don't see any reason why we wouldn't look at more. And I think we all know that Wolverine, could use an update. We've also updated Spider-Man. We updated Spider-Man through the Disney store. Actually, I think we've offered it to specialty stores now. The Spectacular Spider-Man, which came with the Peter Parker head and the camera and the mask that he could hold in his hand. That was a really great update of Spider-Man. So we definitely know that needs to be done, and we try to do it on a semi-regular basis. So hopefully, I'd love a new Wolverine myself. He's one of my more favorite characters.
So it's a potential. It's possible, and somewhere.
Yeah, never say never. Never say never.
Exactly. So talking about that Spider-Man, man, that was actually one of the first figures I bought when I got back into collecting as an older, collector. It was actually around the one that you were just talking about, the Spectacular Spider-Man one. It was around Christmas time, and I think I was doing some shopping for somebody, and I saw it at the Disney store, and I was like, that's actually a really cool one. And so I ended up picking it up, and here we are a few years later, and I'm on a live show about toys now, talking to a marketing manager from a toy company. From that toy company.
That's excellent. That's very cool. Yeah, we try to make our toys accessible. We don't want them to be something that you need to save up for, a lot of money, like hundreds of dollars. We don't want it to be something that you can't find. We want people to be able to find it, and we want people to be able to afford it. So that's why we pay such close attention to price, and why we try not to raise it unless it's absolutely necessary.
No, yeah, definitely, man. I feel like anything you get that has that Diamond Select name comes with that attention to detail, and especially like in the gallery statues. I always praise them because for $50 to $60 to $75, you're getting a very highly detailed, amazing statue with amazing paint applications. You know what I mean? So you can't find that in anywhere else. Usually, you're paying $200-300 for the same exact statue. But you guys are offering it at a very affordable price. Like you said, you don't have to pay an arm and a leg to save up for this amazing statue that you guys have ready and willing to give to the people that want it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's definitely an introductory statue line for people who are interested in getting into statues and can't really afford it. I mean, we do make $200 and $300 statues for Marvel or Star Wars, but it's definitely the $50 to $60 line is definitely one of our most popular. The gallery dioramas. So Bruce Lee, the Darkwing Duck one I mentioned earlier. We're going to do some Gargoyles ones. The Jean-Claude Van Damme that we just showed off not too long ago. Green Hornet. There's a lot of different licenses that we do in that scale and price, and yeah, we do the Premier Collection is not too much bigger, but it's definitely definitely much more expensive.
No, yeah, definitely. That's great that you guys offer both, But I mean, you guys offer the Premier under Gentle Giant, isn't it?
When we took over Gentle Giant in 2019, we applied our statue names, Premier Collection and Milestones, to their 1/7 and 1/6 scale statue lines. So I think they called their 1/7 line Collector Gallery. It may have been 1/8, and then their Milestones were 1/6. No, they're I don't know if they called them Milestones at all. I don't think they have an official name for it. But the statue line names has been around for a while. We've been making the Marvel Premier Collection. We took a break in the middle there, but we've been making it probably for close to 20 years, if not more. There was a big break in the middle where we weren't making Marvel statues, but some of our Marvel Premier Collection go back 20 years. We had a lot of female characters in the early days, so like you may remember Psylocke and the Invisible Woman and Rogue. We did a Spider-Man with a lamppost on a newspaper box. Those were all Premier Collection, and those were a long time ago. But now we're back, and the Marvel Premier Collection is going strong. We don't do Marvel Milestones very often. We used to do some 1/6 Marvel. Now we mostly do 1/6 Marvel busts, but Star Wars is definitely 1/6 is the flagship bust line and statue line, and then we have a 1/7 Premier Collection that is really great. It's really great. It's a much lower price. It's a lower price point. They top out at $200, but we do a lot more interesting movie specific looks, which are a lot of fun. A lot of fun outfits and characters. So it's the more expensive pieces are not to be dismissed easily because they are some really great pieces. But that $50 to $60 line is definitely a lot of people love that for its collectability.
No, yeah, definitely. I think it's your newer Kenobi Vader. Is that part of your Premier statue line?
Yes, that's a Premier Collection. The Kenobi Vader, where he's got the hand out and the lightsaber, and then we got a Kenobi, which is really nice. And we just did a Boba Fett for San Diego. We didn't sell out at San Diego, actually. We were taking pre-orders because it didn't arrive in time. But we're going to bring some of that Boba Fett, that Premier Collection Boba Fett, where he's got the blaster and he's going down the steps of the carbon freezing chamber. And we're going to bring some of those to New York. So if you're at New York Comic Con, definitely come by. We're going to have some of those, and it's a really beautiful piece.
Nice. That's exciting, man. Seems like you guys do a lot of great statues for Star Wars in that line. I've seen you guys are coming out with a Bo-Katan one as well, right?
Yes, we just released a realistic take on the cartoon Bo-Katan statue, a Premier Collection statue. But we're working on a milestone statue, a 1/6 of her as she appears in The Mandalorian with Katie Sackhoff likeness. She's got the helmet off. It looks really great. I don't know when that one's going to come out, but the Premier Collection based on the cartoon where she's taking off with a jetpack, that one should be in stores, I think, in the next month or so. It's just arrived in the warehouse.
Nice, exciting, man. A lot of great stuff coming from Premiere, and a lot of great stuff coming from Gallery. It seems like just a lot of great stuff all around coming from Diamond Select this year, man. So I'm excited to see what else is coming because, like I said, the Gallery statue line is amazing. I personally absolutely love it. It's the only statues that I collect. I feel like it's the best thing that for at least my collection because if anything, if they happen to topple over or anything, they're not ceramic. And they're a little more durable and whatnot. Personally, not that they've ever toppled over, thankfully, but there's always that fear when you spend about $300-400 on a ceramic resin statue, and you're just like one little top pull, and all that money is gone. You know what I mean? So it's nice. It's a nice little insurance, I guess, in a way, to know that it's a safe investment, even though it's not really an investment. But it's a nice piece to look at that you don't have to worry about breaking very easily, at least.
No, definitely. I keep crazy glue on my desk at all times.
Oh yeah, I have Gorilla Glue at the ready at all times too, man. You have to as a collector. Something's always toppling over, something's always chipping off, and you're just like, damn. So you mentioned that New York Comic Con is coming up. Is that the last con you guys are going to be doing this year, or are there any other ones you guys are going to be going to?
No, that's it. That's it. That's our big convention. That in San Diego and Star Wars Celebration are our big conventions. So next year we'd normally have New York Toy Fair in February, but they've moved it to September. So
Hmm.
there won't be a toy fair in February. There'll be one in September. I don't know if we'll still do like a showcase, which is what we've been doing for the last couple of years, an online showcase. We
Hmm.
may end up doing one early next year, but most likely we'll just wait until Toy Fair in September. So Celebration is happening in the spring next year. I think it's in London.
Yeah, it
Not sure if
is.
I'll be there, but it should be a good show. And yeah, no, it's so Celebration, San Diego, New York Comic Con, and New York Toy Fair. Those are our big shows. We used to do C2E2,
Hmm.
but we switched. We were going to switch to Emerald City Comic Con, and then uh, COVID came along, and the first one we were going to go to was canceled. And we haven't really gotten it back on our schedule yet. Maybe someday. That'd be nice. But I've never been to Emerald City Comic Con, so it could be cool. Um, but we'll have to see if we add any more shows to the lineup. Celebration is usually every other year, I think, but this
Hmm.
year there's two in a row. So if there's three in a row, then it may look bad for Emerald City again.
They may get skipped again for Star Wars.
Yeah, yeah, it's a lot of shows. Everybody at the company is hands on. So the president goes to all the shows, to help set up and break down and take meetings and stuff like that. I'm there. Our sales manager is there. It's just a lot of people on the team have to go to these shows to keep them up and running. We don't have like a dedicated show team
Uh-huh.
that the conventions. So it's tricky for us to do too many shows a year.
Yeah, I can see how that gets a little tricky. But do you guys see that even though it's a little harder for you guys to kind of go to a lot of shows, do you see that the ones that you do go to, you guys connect a little bit more with your fans because it is you guys going to the shows and not a dedicated team of interns that you guys hire to go and do all this stuff for you guys?
Yeah, no, I mean it's definitely important that I be there. I'm the guy who they when I came on, they're like, you need to talk to everybody because we're not comfortable talking to everybody. So I'm like the guy who does all the interviews. And it's good for me to be there at the shows, just to talk to people and to hunt down celebrities that we could do crossovers with, collaborations. Um, but no, it's definitely we do definitely connect with the fans. The president will sit by the booth and watch people looking at their at the displays and listen to what they're saying, so we can get ideas for the future and
Hmm.
hear what people think about the stuff. Um, but some of them will come over to the other side and buy the stuff. Some of them will just check out the stuff and maybe come back later on. But a lot of people are seeing our stuff for the very first time, which is great because it's a way for us to introduce our product to non-fans, to people who are
Hmm.
just casual attendees. So having those people see our stuff for the first time, they'll come around, they'll ask a lot of questions because they don't really know what the what the situation is, what the pre-order means, when it would come out, so we meet a lot. We interact probably a lot more with new collectors than we do with old fans, ironically. But the old fans are definitely, I think, happy to see us there. So they can get it, like you said, so they can get that firsthand look at everything.
No, yeah, I mean, your fans are always going to be there because you've already established that connection with them. You've already established that you have licenses and figures out what you guys want. So you guys are here. So it's great to hear that you guys are able to connect with a lot more newer collectors and newer people to bring in because that just means that the community is going to grow and that just means better stuff for us and more voices. And so that's great. And do you feel like there's a difference, with having your actual boss there than versus like Hasbro and all these other ones that just have just people there running the booth? Is there like some kind of like leadership type of thing that you see that like a difference in your guys' group versus other toy companies?
Oh yeah, I mean I've got a ton of respect for my boss, who comes to all these shows. DST Chuck, he's a really great guy. He's been doing Ask DST for probably a decade at this point. I think we're on Ask DST number 400 and something. But he's been doing it for a long time. If you write in with a question, the president will answer the question on our blog, and that's really great of him to do. But he's definitely a hands-on kind of guy. He wouldn't ask somebody to do something that he would. So, yeah, no, I'm sure that people at other toy companies have respect for their bosses, even if they don't come and set up the booth. But I definitely have respect for Chuck. He's a good guy, and he understands his team, and I think that does help us, take things a lot more seriously at the show as well, because he's there, and we want him to see that we're doing our due diligence, making sure that everybody gets what they need, and gets their questions answered, and that everything goes off without a hitch.
Well, that's always great to hear, a boss that's there to actually lead by, leading an example and not just, kind of delegating it and just saying, well, just do this and that without actually seeing what goes into it. At least he sees everything that goes into it. So I'm sure not only do you have respect for him for being there, but he has respect and, he appreciates everything that you guys do, seeing and doing also what you guys do, So it's always good to have that good relationship with your boss and your higher ups and everything, right?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I've only had a few jobs since I got out of college, and this is my longest one. I've been here for 11 years, and it's definitely the best job I've had. So I'm excited for the future.
That's great, man. I think all of us are excited for the future of Diamond Select. You tease us with a lot of great stuff coming, and is there anything you want to leave us with that you can leave us with?
Sure, yeah. Definitely come see us at New York Comic Con. I'm going to do a mini mate giveaway, and we're going to have some cool new stuff on display. Definitely look for new pre-orders on the 16th of September. We're going to have a new Marvel Select figure, excuse me, and we're going to have a bunch of other new items. I don't know if we have any licenses we're launching this month. I was hoping we'd launch Dungeons and Dragons this month. I think that's going to be next month. So more cool stuff in October, but September we got a lot of cool stuff coming out. And you can check DST out on Collect DST on Twitter and Instagram. Definitely check them out. And Gentle Giant Limited is just like it sounds, Gentle Giant Ltd on Twitter and Instagram. And I think we've got TikTok accounts for both going right now. So definitely follow them there as well.
Sounds good, man. And check you out the Diamond Select booth if you're going to be in New York Comic Con. What is it, this weekend or is it next weekend?
It's October. It's early October.
October.
I'm getting ahead. I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but it's our next show, so I just figured I'd mention it. It's October 7th through 9th, I think. But checking my old school calendar here. But it's going to be a good show for DST anyway.
Sounds good, man. Well, I'm excited for you guys to have your final show of the year. It feels good to finally have these cons back in a normal fashion and whatnot. And, like I said, it's exciting to see all these new products firsthand and actual prototypes there instead of just online pictures, which are great. Don't get me wrong. We love seeing those and whatnot, but we get a little more excited when we see actual plastic in, the character form opposed to just pixels.
Of course, of course.
So thank you so much, Zach. I really do appreciate you coming back on the show. I appreciate you sharing all this amazing announcements and all this news coming up for Diamond Select. I appreciate you partnering up with me, sending me over some stuff. I had a bunch of fun reviewing them, taking pictures. I'm still editing some of the videos and stuff, so they'll be coming out very soon. So I do appreciate that. There were some amazing figures, and I can't wait to see what else comes out.
Excellent. No, thank you for having me on. It's been a lot of fun.
Thank you so much, man. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
All right. Have a good one.
You too, man. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining me for episode 29 of Coffee and Toys Live. And thank you so much to Diamond Select's marketing manager, Zach Oath, for once again coming on the show. I had a really great conversation with him. He was one of the earlier guests on this show, which I really do appreciate. When I first started this show, I didn't know who would want to come on here or who would want to talk to me. And the fact that, the marketing manager of a major toy company said yes and came on meant the world to me. It gave me like the most amazing feeling, and it's led to an amazing partnership with Diamond Select and Zach. So once again, thank you so much to him. I look forward to everything that they have coming this year, next year. Like I said, I'm really excited for what they're going to do with TMNT, from mini mates to the gallery statues, and so much more, guys. So if you haven't already, definitely check out Diamond Select. I will be uploading a lot of my reviews coming up soon. I've already uploaded quite a few of them, so check them out on my YouTube. By the way, guys, my YouTube, we have officially hit 1,000 subscribers, guys. Thank you so much to each and every single one of you that have hit that subscribe button. And if you haven't already, it's okay. You can be a part of 2,000. That's just as exciting, guys. So thank you so much. If you haven't already, please follow me here on Instagram at CoolFigurez, or my second Instagram account where I post my more thought out, planned out, more edited toy photography pics, Epic Shots by CoolFigurez. And if you like unboxings, check me out over on TikTok at CoolFigurez. And join me next week, guys, for episode 30, where we will be traveling back to the beautiful state of Hawaii, to the island of Kauai this time, and we will be speaking with Aloha Toy Photography. Super excited to talk to him. And then 2 weeks from now, I will myself be in the beautiful state of Hawaii. So super excited about that. And with that being said, guys, once again, thank you so much for joining me for this episode. Whether you're watching it live, the replay, and the podcast, I really do appreciate it. Once again, thank you so much to Diamond Select and their marketing manager, Zach Oath, for all that amazing information, news, and just a great overall conversation. With that being said, guys, I've been your host, Jess the Bat Madrigal, a.k.a. the Buff Collector. And as always, have a great fucking day. Thank you so much for sticking to the end of this video. If you enjoyed those pics, you can find the full images over on Instagram at CoolFigurez. And I do also have a separate Instagram account for my more thought out, planned out, more edited pics called Epic Shots by CoolFigurez. Check it out. If you like what you see, leave me a follow there as well. And if you guys like unboxings, check me out over on TikTok at CoolFigurez. That's where I post all of my unboxings. And check me out every Sunday for Coffee and Toys, a weekly Toy News Toy Talk podcast where we will go over all the latest and great toy news, reveals, pre-orders, weekly toy haul, and so much more. And join me every Wednesday over on Instagram for Coffee and Toys Live, where I will speak to a new guest every week about toys, toy hunting, toy photography, and so much more. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to listen to me talk about toys. I really do appreciate it.